Welcome to the deep dive. Bitcoin's certainly been making some noise lately.
It really has lots of activity, some pretty significant price points being hit.
Yeah, so we've looked at market reports, some social media chatter, expert takes, trying to piece it all together for you.
And the goal really is to pull out what matters, what these moves might signify, without getting totally bogged down in jargon.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Let's start with the price itself. We saw Bitcoin touch, what was it, an intraday high of $105,541.
that's right. And there were reports of monthly highs maybe tipping towards $106,000. Definitely a noticeable jump.
Okay, so what's behind this? What's pushing it up?
Well, it seems like a mix of things. There's a bit more optimism in the markets generally. Maybe easing U.S.-China trade stuff helps.
Less tension there.
Right. And signs that inflation might be cooling off a bit. That often helps assets seen as maybe riskier, like Bitcoin.
Okay, but wasn't there something about big money coming in, institutional investors?
Yes. That seems to be a major driver right now. Huge institutional interest. We heard David Bailey mention significant activity pushing towards that 105K mark.
Significant, like how significant are we talking?
We're talking reports of around $5 billion flowing in from institutional players in just 7 days.
5 billion. Wow. Any specific names?
Yeah, some big ones mentioned. Goldman Sachs, reportedly $1.65 billion. Abu Dhabi's Sovereign Wealth Fund, $511 million.
Okay.
Michael Saylor's strategy, always active, $1.34 billion. Then Hong Kong's Avenir, $863 million. And Next Technology, about $600 million.
Those are serious numbers. That's not small change.
Not at all. It shows real commitment from, major financial players.
And it's not just direct buying, is it? What about the ETFs, the Bitcoin ETFs?
Good point. They're still seeing strong demand, too. Net inflows, around $2.9 billion over the last couple of weeks for the spot Bitcoin ETFs.
So the appetite is definitely there through multiple channels.
Precisely. It suggests broader acceptance and easier ways for different types of investors to get exposure.
Okay, let's switch gears slightly. Adam Back mentioned something technical. The 200-week moving average crossing $47,000. Why is that important?
Right. The 200 WMA. Think of it as a very long-term trend line for Bitcoin's price.
Okay.
When the price gets above it and stays above it, like it has now, crossing 47 MK, technical analysts see that as a really strong sign.
A strong sign of what? A bullish trend.
Exactly. It's often seen as confirmation of a long-term bull market. And that level, around $47,000 now, becomes a kind of major long-term support zone.
So does that mean we won't see big drops below that? Is it like a safety net?
Well, not a guarantee. Nothing's guaranteed, right? We only have to look back at March 2020 to see how unexpected events can shake things up.
True.
But crossing that average, it does suggest a certain underlying strength, a long-term resilience in the market sentiment. It's a positive indicator for sure.
Got it. Okay, another piece of news. American Bitcoin. Backed by Eric and Donald Trump Jr., it's going public.
Yes, through a merger with a company called Griffin Digital Mining.
And the market reaction was pretty energetic.
Energetic is one word for it. Griffin's shares, I think they surged about 280% in pre-market trading, up to $2.04.
Wow. So just the association with Bitcoin and those names created a lot of buzz.
It seems so. It really highlights the market's current enthusiasm for anything related to Bitcoin, especially publicly listed ventures. And, prominent backing doesn't hurt visibility.
Right. It sort of bridges crypto and more traditional investment pathways.
Exactly. Another sign of Bitcoin moving more into the mainstream financial world.
Okay, so we have price surges, big institutional money, a key technical signal flashing green, and even high-profile public listings. What about the future? Any wild predictions?
Oh, there are always predictions. And some are definitely bold this time around.
Like what? Give us some examples.
Okay, so one trader, Ansem, is forecasting $500,000 per Bitcoin by 2030.
$500,000 by 2030. Okay.
Then Adam Back, who we mentioned earlier, he suggested maybe even $500,000 to $1 million, potentially within this current market cycle. So much sooner.
500,000 to $1 million. That's ambitious.
Yeah, very. And there's another analysis from Apps 32, based on gold's market cap. They suggest a reasonable target for 2025 might be $220,000.
Reasonable compared to $1 million, maybe?
Right. But they also add that based on historical network value trends, maybe it could even reach $444,000.
So a lot of very high numbers being thrown around.
Definitely capturing attention. Shows the level of optimism or perhaps speculation in some corners.
Okay, let's try and wrap this up. Key takeaways seem to be Bitcoin's price is up significantly.
Driven heavily by serious institutional investment. billions flowing in.
And supported by a positive long-term technical signal, that 200-week average.
Plus, we're seeing more integration, like the American Bitcoin public listing.
All set against a backdrop of some, let's say, extremely optimistic price predictions for the future.
That sums it up pretty well. The link between traditional finance and Bitcoin seems to be getting stronger and stronger.
So for you listening, the real question is, what does this all suggest? This flood of institutional cash, the mainstream moves, how is the perception of Bitcoin changing?
Yeah, is this a fundamental shift in how digital assets are viewed? What new questions does this raise for you about where the market might actually go next?
Definitely something to think about. That's our deep dive for today.